Words by Barbara Symons. It is my understanding that we exist before we become physical. This, existing, before we are born into this physical world, is a form that is highly intelligent and is able to see without the thick filter of the ego. The ego is installed at our first breath when we become a living soul. Its overall perspective is comprehensive of the eternal realm of spirit and is beyond our mortal human understanding. Conversely, and speaking generally, the mortal's memory and reasoning abilities are mostly that of the physical dimension from birth to death. It is from the eternal and unfettered perspective of spirit that we choose our syllabus for planet Earth. This includes the good, the bad, and everything in between. The basis of this perspective is that we are not victims of circumstances but rather participants in this divine drama. Some say that this viewpoint is victim-blaming and suggest that it is being said that a woman chooses to lose a child, that someone chooses to be sexually abused, that someone chooses to be tortured, or any number of heinous things that occur in this life. The person that says this is seeing from a human viewpoint, and these things are indeed absurd. This is difficult for the human, for we cannot fathom that, as highly intelligent spiritual beings, purpose may be found, seen, and even planned within all of our experiences, good and bad. When a human experiences deep trauma, grief simply must be. The process cannot be circumnavigated, and the only way to grieve is to go through it. This is different for all people. Nowhere is it stated or understood that the victim be blamed for their circumstances, as has been intimated a lot lately. This perspective from beyond the human format and conditioning has been repeatedly and purposefully mischaracterized by stating that it is blaming the victim and saying that as a human being they asked for their trauma to happen to them. In other words, if a woman is raped, well, she asked for it, or if someone experiences the loss of a child, well, they asked for it. You can see the depth of mischaracterization here. This is inflammatory, somewhat psychologically abusive, and untrue. This is a deep and ancient perspective that can only be ascertained when the ego is placed in neutral, allowing the judgment of such heinous circumstances to cease. Only then can we even begin to see the possibilities that the human experience affords, and we can remember. So then, if the reality exists of us in spiritual form making decisions, charting a course, then why? We may begin by asking ourselves, did I choose this? If yes, then why? What am I to learn through it? There are many questions and many answers if one is willing to step out from victimhood and into participation. But these deep and mysterious truths cannot be apprehended in anger but through willingness to learn and to understand. Barbara Symons, author of Escaping Christianity, Finding Christ, and Musings from an Ex-Christian Fundamentalist. About the author. Barbara Symons is an ordained minister and tireless spiritual seeker whose experience in Christian fundamentalism spans her lifetime, beginning at 5 years of age. After leaving the church in 1999, Barbara began to recognize the fear-based propaganda that most fundamentalism employs. Having spent 43 years within Christian fundamentalism, 10 of those years as an exorcist, Barbara has keen insight into this systematic religion and writes of her journey through deprogramming. Always captivated by unusual phenomena, Barbara has a vast repertoire of spiritual and metaphysical experiences from which to draw. She is a lecturer, teacher, and writer who hopes to bring light to the mysteries that can be found within the historical stories of the Bible and beyond. Barbara resides in College Station, Texas, and is married to Lyle. Together they have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Find her website here, www.barbarasimons.com.